Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo, and welcome to another episode of Throwback Thursday, a series where we look at some broke-ass cards from the anime and apply them to the current meta. Now, today's card is Riryoku, or as they say in the anime, Riryoku, which kind of is weird because it's like missing an entire syllable. But regardless, this card is a bit of a gem. So without further ado, if you don't know what this card does, I'll go ahead and let Docs explain.
Riryoku! Ryoku's legendary power allows me to take half of my opponent's life points and add them to one of my own creature's attack points!
So, basically what this card does is it halves your opponent's life points for free and then gives that total amount to a monster that you control. So, this card is basically, for those of you who play Hearthstone, is like an Alex Straza, except rather than needing to play this card on turn 9, you can play it on your first fucking turn. So that seems a bit fair, right? You know, oh, my opponent's at 8,000 life points, I'm just going to activate this, I'm going to take 4,000 of their life points, and I'm going to add it to, you know, whatever the fuck I want, you know? I can add it to my Dante to make my Dante have a base attack of 5,000, I can add it to my Blue Eyes White Dragon to make it have 7,000 attack, you know? I can pretty much add it to whatever the fuck I want, so yeah, seems really fair, right? So being able to just have your opponent's life points is fucking ridiculous. Like, that's fucking nuts. There's been, I think there's like 1 or 2 cards maybe in the game that actually have an effect like that. It's like Destiny Hero Dogma and I think some like weird like Chaos 103 like Ragnazir or whatever. I think that might have the effect too. But the thing about those cards is that they're ridiculously hard to actually summon, let alone resolve the effect without your opponent having any interaction to do so. This fucking card is a spell card. You can use it basically for free at any time, except you just need to control a monster, which, you know, that's pretty fucking difficult. And, yeah, you have your opponent's life points for nothing. There's no drawback. They're just for nothing. There is one drawback. I should say there's not any. The drawback is you can't attack the turn that you use this card. Big fucking deal! Like, the fact that you're just putting them immediately on 4,000 life points is well worth the fact that you can't attack on the if you can attack the turn you use this fucking card, like, this would be the most broken fucking card ever, because then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna summon anything, use this, kill whatever you have, and then attack you for game. Like, that, no interaction! That would be exactly what this game would become if this card existed in real life, and didn't have the stipulation that you can't attack. But let's kind of look beyond the fact that you can't attack and what other kind of upside this card has. So other than the fact you're having your opponent's life points, the fact that you're taking those life points away means a lot more, because that means they have basically 0 comeback potential with a card like Soul Charge, because they're only going to be able to take 3 monsters at most with Soul Charge. They're not going to be able to use their Solemn Strikes or Warnings as liberally, because that means they're only going to be allowed to use 1 warning and a strike, or 2 strikes, and that's if they even have them. And let's also mention that that's just if they're on 8k. If they're on 4k, you're going to take away 2,000 of their life points. Like, literally, even though the longer the game goes on and the less life points your opponent has, technically the worse this card gets, because then if your opponent's on like 800 life points, you're only going to get a monster with 400 extra attack, and you're cutting them down by 400. But the earlier you draw this card, the easier it's going to be for you to win the game. Because, oh, I can't attack? That's fine. I'm just going to have my defensive wall of either, you know, Beatrice, Dante, you know, whatever, or, you know, my impenetrable wall of, like, Cyber Dragon Infinity, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and all this other bullshit. You just have to make some sort of wall, and then next turn you just win. And the thing is, your opponent has to prioritize that monster that you boosted up with this card, because if they don't, they're just gonna lose single-handedly to that one monster. So if you put it on something like an Infinity, or like a Crystal Wing, or something that has built-in protection, that just makes it even more broken, because then the chances of them actually killing that are just going down exponentially. Like, this card is fucking ridiculous. And the fact you can't attack, again, you can still do everything else. If you're playing something like Should All Trains, and I know this is a really weird example, but you can still Gustav Max your opponent for an extra 2k if you would want. So you bring them from 8 to 4, and then Gustav Max them from 4 to 2, which means you just have to Gustav Max them again one more time, and you automatically win. Like, how the fuck is that fair? So, overall, Riryoku is a ridiculous card. Again, it actually is somewhat balanced as to the fact that you can't attack the turn that you use it, but basically being able to have your opponent's life points in one go for free is a little bit fucking nuts. But that's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I really want to hear your thoughts. Always be sure to suggest your cards that you want to see on Throwback Thursday. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Cimoooooooo!